So cutting the cheese started out of quarantine, and I had nothing else to do. I was sitting there watching TV, and I had a big block of cheese in front of me, and I was carving away, cutting it and eating it, and I thought it would be fun to cut it into the shape of a couch. And I sent a picture off to my girlfriend. She thought it was funny, and I've been cutting them ever since. The beginning of quarantine was a lot of fun. It was like a snow day. It was like I was just sitting there doing what I wanted to do, getting some art projects done, watching TV. And then all of a sudden the 3-week lockdown turned into a month, and then 3 months, and then 6 months, and it became like a weird fever dream. Like everything was the same, everything, the day after day after day, the monotony of it. But it was good, it was fine. Woof. I don't really have a background in the arts in any professional or educational way. I always enjoyed painting and filmmaking and things like that, but sculpture was completely new for me. And I guess I just sort of fell into it when cheese came along. And I just took all the aspects that I picked up about art that I knew and sort of put it into the cheese. I really like working with these hard cheeses, manchegos, parmesans, pecorino, romanos, things like that. They really carve nicely. I tried brie once, and it just melts. It falls apart. It's absolutely useless. So when I first started doing cheese carving, I didn't know much about cheese, so I really was just getting blocks from the supermarket, prepackaged blocks, whatever was affordable, really. And then as I started going forward with this hobby, I started doing more research and finding more interesting cheeses, especially as I started getting into an Instagram account. I didn't want to sort of put the same thing out over and over and over again. So I started looking for cheeses that had little interesting bits in them, different colors, and I wanted to sort of bring something new into each piece when I could. This I love. Oh, look at that color. I think I'm gonna do an ode to Ripley's right in here. And then this one is an example of when I go into a shop and see a piece of cheese and think, oh, I would love to do something in there. Just a little guy, a little log here. So I have a number of different tools here that I use. One is this wedged piece, and I use that to sort of cut in and gouge out. And this one is similar. It's a little rounded, but it has a flat edge on it. So that's great for scooping. With some softer cheeses, I like to use this because you can get a lot of good scraping in there, add some texture, things like that. And that's a sharp wedged piece that you can kind of scoop out with also. But sometimes I use that. And then I use just 2 regular knives. At first, these are all I used. And then at some point, I wanted to have some more mobility or some more options in cutting, which is why I got this little set of clay working tools. So far, I'm pretty happy with how this is going. It's actually going a lot quicker than I thought it would. I'm leaving the eyelashes out because I don't think I'm gonna be able to work in some eyelashes, but that's okay. Not everybody has eyelashes, I guess. But otherwise, I'm really loving it. The time it takes to carve a sculpture varies depending on what it is, especially since, while you're carving, the cheese gets soft, so you have to put it in the fridge, let it cool down, stiffen up, and then bring it back out. So there's a lot of waiting time in between. It's a nice snack for me for later. I guess my biggest concern or my biggest challenge with this one is making sure that it looks like the logo. You know, I don't want to do Ripley's wrong. So I'm going to start with a little circle here, and that will give me a nice circle to work within. Usually if I'm doing something that's replicating like the logo or something like that, I'll print out a copy of it and place it on top and sort of make markers to make sure that I'm hitting all the points. And I didn't do that today. I sort of freehanded it, and I'm very happy with the way it turned out. When I first started cutting cheese, it was sort of a big joke between my girlfriend and I. I just started doing it more and more and adding detail and going larger scale and really experimenting. And by the time I started putting things on Instagram, it was sort of exciting to see that other people enjoyed this too. It wasn't just me and my girlfriend who thought it was funny, but it was other people who enjoyed cheese. There's a fantastic cheese community, and when you do something new with it, it sort of sparks some excitement. I have a project, it was an alligator skull. I remember cutting it, carving it, taking the picture, and being like, man, this did not turn out how I wanted it to. It just didn't work, but that's all right, you know, nothing's perfect. And I posted it and people loved it. They said that that was one of their favorite ones, that they want to see more of that kind of stuff. And it blows my mind. You never know. You know, I'm really glad that I started this relationship with cheese. You know, I didn't know much about it. I started doing this silly little hobby, and Cheese and I, we've spent a lot of time together over the last year. You know, it's really gotten me through a strange time in history during a pandemic, during a lockdown. So, you know, I think we've become close, Cheese and I. I'm really happy about that. All right, so here we are. I am done. I'm gonna wipe this off. I'll take it into the kitchen and blow these little scraps out of here, and then it gets photographed. But there you have it. Ripley's, believe it or not.